Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Double murder at Coronation Market in downtown Kingston. The Major Investigation Division, MID, is investigating the circumstances surrounding the shooting death of two men at Coronation Market on Darling Street in Kingston on Saturday, February 5th. Dead are 50-year-old Carlton Armstrong, a shopkeeper of Bond Street, Kingston 14, and 21-year-old Orlando Turner of Freeman's Hall in Alberton, Trelawney. Reports from the police are that about 12:30 a.m., both men were inside a business establishment in the market when they were pounced upon by a group of armed men. The men opened gunfire at Armstrong and Turner, hitting them in the upper body before escaping from the scene. The injured men were taken to hospital, where they were both pronounced dead. Investigations are ongoing into the incident. Devil from the most wanted list surrenders to law enforcers. A man who was listed as one of the most wanted men in St. Catherine South Police Division surrendered to the police last week. Damien Henry, alias Devil, was wanted in connection to the stabbing death of a man on Oscott Drive in Old Harbour, St. Catherine in 2013. He turned himself over to the police in the presence of his attorney on Thursday and is to be questioned by police investigators. The 31-year-old was among the 90 wanted men who were listed by the Police High Command last week. According to head of the St. Catherine South Police, Superintendent Christopher Phillips, 9 other men across the divisions are still wanted. We're happy that he, Henry, decided to do the correct thing. We have 9 other persons who were published recently as being wanted, and we would love for them to do the same thing because we're going to be doing a lot of operations around these persons, Phillips reported. The other men are wanted for various offenses, ranging from murder to illegal possession of firearm. Among them are Sheldon Wright, alias Boy, who is wanted for murder and illegal possession of firearm, and Mario Barnes, alias Jason, who is being sought in relation to a murder. Illegal gun seized in Brufield's operation. The police are reporting the seizure of a Taurus 9mm pistol, fit with a magazine containing 10.4 cartridges, in Brufield's Westmoreland on Saturday. It is reported that about 6 a.m., a police team conducted an operation in the community where a premises was searched and the weapon found in bushes. No one was arrested in connection to the seizure. Investigations are ongoing. Opposition leader supports Operation Get Every Illegal Gun program. Opposition leader Mark Golding has pledged support for the Operation Get Every Illegal Gun program. Under the initiative, which was announced by Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Friday, persons who provide information on illegal guns will receive from $250,000 to $500,000 based on the type of weapon recovered. Golding says the program is a useful national effort which should have the backing of all Jamaicans. This was a program that was initiated in 2015 by the then PNP administration and was met with some success and was subsequently discontinued. We would like to see it revived because we need a program like that is needed to get the guns off the street. We are supporting the program to get information that leads to the recovery of illegal weapons and ammunition. The government is setting up a $250 million fund to provide incentives under the Operation Get Every Illegal Gun program. Meanwhile, the opposition leader agrees with the decision to take a new Firearm Act to Parliament. On Friday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said new legislation is to be taken to Parliament in a few days to put in place harsher penalties for gun possession as part of a 3-pronged strategy to get illegal guns. 14 charged in St. Mary for breaching DRMA. The Anata Bay Police in St. Mary has charged 14 persons for breaching the Disaster Risk Management Act, DRMA. They were charged with failing to wear a face mask in public and failing to adhere to physical distancing rules. A man was slapped with an additional charge of possession of an offensive weapon. The accused are expected to appear before the Anata Bay Parish Court later this month. It is reported that about 1 o'clock, a police team was on an operation in the division when 2 vehicles with several persons aboard were stopped. This was hours after the start of the night COVID curfew, which commenced at 10 p.m. The occupants of both vehicles were arrested and charged for breaching the DRMA. The police are urging residents to adhere to the law. PPV operators urged to help make roads safer. Minister of Transport Audley Shaw has called for operators in the public transport sector to ensure that the system works in the best interest of all road users. Shaw said public passenger vehicle operators are responsible for the country's most precious resource, our citizens, including our children and the elderly. This responsibility must be held with the highest regard, and since the start of the year, an alarming 38 persons have been killed in 32 fatal crashes, with PPV operators and passengers accounting for 3 of those fatalities, said Shaw. He was delivering the keynote address at a certificate membership ceremony organized by the Transport Operators Development Sustainable Service on Thursday, February 3rd at the University of Technology, Jamaica. Underscoring that too many deaths are occurring on the roads, he said the operators must move to be identified among the safest drivers in the country, and the ministry will continue to work with all road safety partners to make this subject a priority. It is the responsibility of each of us, and we seek to have the entire population on our road safety side as we work to ensure that whenever we operate on the road network, we do so for our families and our country first, the Transport Minister said. He added that the country's road safety architecture is being improved to ensure that by 2030, Jamaica will become the road safety capital of the Caribbean and Latin American region. Shaw told the gathering that he was pleased with the new road traffic rules that have been tabled in Parliament and will be working rigorously to ensure that it is enforced to support the desperate need to better regulate the use of the nation's roads. This is one of my priorities, he stated. He highlighted that the Transport Authority has rolled out several digital training, monitoring and enforcement mechanisms, and persons should take advantage of them. He noted that the Drive Safe Jamaica app, a reporting device, allows members of the public to upload videos and pictures of drivers, particularly public transport operators who commit road traffic breaches. Caught in the middle, children, other relatives struggling with traumatic realities in Criminals Week. Hundreds of Jamaican children are being held hostages of gang violence, not only as homicide and trauma victims, but also as innocent onlookers of their guardian's criminal and deadly deeds, noted the state's Child Protection Agency. Up to late Friday afternoon, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, said it was still sorting out permanent accommodation for 2 children who were taken into state care following the seizure of 13 illegal weapons at a house in Trelawney on Thursday. Luckily, the minors who underwent medical examination before being put in the place of safety escaped serious injuries in the early morning operation that resulted in a man dead and their mother being taken into custody. More than 142 children have benefited from first responders here since last April, from 65 incidents up to December. But this is not a reflection of the actual volume of cases island-wide, CEO of CPFSA Rosalie Gage-Gray cautioned, as there are not enough investigators to respond every time the police call. The numbers include response to fires and other crises, but there has been a notable increase in the number of shooting incidents, said the CEO, citing interventions following the shooting death of at least 3 children in central Kingston since October last year. On the ground, the children are very involved, noted Gage-Gray. They may not be directly involved, but they get caught in these things, and it has been very difficult on the first responders. Our reports are mirroring the top crime hotspots. The western parishes of the island have so far accounted for the majority of homicides this year and have been the most challenging for the CPFSA first responders. Children, their friends, parents and relatives are being killed, and responders like the police have to be moving from scene to scene, Gage-Gray shared. Sometimes the children to go into shock at the same time, but then they go into shock later on, and that can become very problematic, she also noted, citing withdrawal, depression, disobedience, and a general breakdown in behavior as manifestations of children's trauma as a result of violence across the country. But while attention is placed on the usual crime hotspots, where the trauma is commonplace and frequent, children in deep rural communities that are seeking an outbreak of gun crimes are often overlooked. The rustic Seaford community in St. Thomas is one such, where life for one 10-year-old girl has been transformed into a hellhole since her brother contractor Clayton Harris, 30, was murdered on January 7. Since then, sleeping in her humble home on Parker's Lane meters, from where her brother was killed at a bar after stopping on his way home from work, has been a nightly torment. She still hears the explosions that ended her brother's life that ill-fate Friday. I see my brother's face everywhere I turn in the house, and I miss him so much, the child said. The joy of the unexpected KFC deliveries he brought has been replaced with tearful memories. Now my brother will never get to see me become a veterinarian, she added as tears ran down her cheeks. Harrison's disabled mother, Sharna Anthony, said she now lives in fear, and while she believes she can cope without counseling, she is reaching out for help for her youngest child. I have lost my foot. He was really the breadwinner for the family. He was the one that was planning to help me out to buy a prosthetic leg, wept Anthony, in reference to her son. I cannot believe it, and his younger sister is taking it worst. So far, police in St. Thomas have only caught one suspect in the relation to the 3 murders in the parish this year. Harrison's killer and those of another man for whom Harrison's killing is believed to have been a reprisal have not yet been found. The police said both men were killed as part of a feud between warring gangsters from Navarre Lane and Blacksmith Lane. Parker's Lane has been caught in the middle. We have carried out searches in the Seaford area, and we have been having dialogue with the residents, trying to get them to understand that they need to break that conflict, said Superintendent Alison Byfield, head of the St. Thomas Police Division, noting that since then, the area has been tense. In the meantime, Harrison's mother and relatives are fearful, hoping no one else in their family will be harmed, especially her children, one of whom is a 19-year-old son. He, Harrison, helped a lot of youths, bring them all about to do jobs on construction sites with him, said a relative. There are people who love Pompey Harrison and who take this harder than even we. You don't know what they are planning, and it is us, the family here, who will get the target even though we have nothing to do with it. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.